Okay, you're welcome to today's English Live with Esther. We are certain, okay, everything is good, everything is okay. English Live with Esther, we look at English. And today, Sunday Tonic, we'll be looking at the topic domestic violence, and it will help you improve your listening skills. So Saturday and Sunday, we'll be having a topic discussion where we'll come together and discuss an English live with Esther. Now, these live sessions is meant to improve our listening skills, the speaking skills, and reading skills of English. So you get to see me live, and I get to hear from you live. You place your comments, I see it, and we'll discuss live. So if you come in, do well to say hi, and I want to hear your opinion on every topic of discussion. So every of our live sessions, we'll be having different topics pertaining to the English language, and I would like to hear your take on it. Extra Stars Academy, we look at different sessions. Now, this English Live with Esther, we're looking at the topic domestic violence. Domestic violence is something that is prevalent. We started the topic yesterday, Saturday Tonic. We had Saturday Tonic yesterday where we started the topic, and today we'll be concluding on the topic domestic violence. I would like to hear your take on it. And if you know you don't like domestic violence, of which I know nobody likes it, I would like you to give me a thumbs up if you enjoy the topic, enjoy what we're talking about. I would like you to give me a thumbs up. And I want you to come in and place your comments. What's your take on it? What's your take on the topic domestic violence? Domestic violence is a kind of behavior the abuser uses to threaten or wanting to control an intimate partner. Have you experienced it before, or you know someone that has experienced domestic violence? I would like to hear your take on it. I would like to know what you feel or what you think about the topic. I would like to know what you think about the topic. The topic again is domestic violence, and like I said, in English Live with Esther, we look at different topic pertaining to English. Different topic pertaining to English. We treat English informally. And our topic is domestic violence. Yesterday we looked at the different types of domains and kickings and slappings and hittings. That is when it's physical. The physical violence is prevalent, it's what is common. So you see the abuser slapping the victim, hitting the victim. It's not normal. Let's not take it as normal. When a man slaps a woman, it is not normal. In our society today, especially where I come from in Africa, if a man beats his wife, it's allowed. But I don't think it should be allowed. In a house, you can see the woman say, I can't stay without my husband slapping me. Where is he heard of? We should stay without beatings. We are not animals. So that's physical violence. If your spouse if you slap your spouse or your partner and you hit or kick, it is physical violence. Now, we looked at verbal violence yesterday. Verbal violence is when you use your mouth to insult your partner. Using your mouth to insult, that's verbal violence. That's an assault. Calling names like I don't even want to call the names because I don't like it. But when your partner insults you, it is verbal violence. Using your mouth to call names, to insult your partner is verbal violence. Different names, making him or her feel inferior. You know, the abuser always wants to be superior. That's why it's more common with men. Men are the abusers, and women are mainly the victims. Because the men want to be in control. They want to be in command. So they tend to put the woman under. And some women are just so used to it. They want to stay under, they want to stay in bondage that they're afraid to speak up. Now, when your husband starts calling you names, it is verbal violence. You should tell him, I don't like it. You should speak up. Don't be timid. Now, we looked at another type of violence, sexual violence. Sexual violence is when your partner imposes sex on you without your consent. And it's what we call rape in our society today. So it occurs in marriages, it occurs in relationships where you have sexual violence. sexual violence without the consent of the other partner. You just forcefully want to do it without a yes. I don't think it should be allowed in a relationship. You know, relationship is mutual. The both of you are together, you have consent. This one says yes, you go ahead. The other one says no, then leave it. So there should be no force in having sex. Now, the other type of violence we looked about yesterday was psychological violence, having to do with the mind. You know, they all go together. If a woman is being beaten, it will affect her psychologically because she won't be able to think well. You've damaged her self-esteem, you've damaged her being, you've damaged everything about her. So it will affect her psychologically. If she goes out, she wouldn't be able to talk with her friends because her self-esteem has been damaged. She doesn't even respect herself. She doesn't see herself as anybody because her partner is not seeing her as one. Domestic violence is something we should not curtail. It's something we should not smile out. And that's what we'll be looking at next week starts today, English Live with Esther. Now, if you're following me and you have one or two things to say, I would like to hear your take on it. I would like to hear what do you think about the topic domestic violence. Have you experienced it yourself or you know one or two persons that have experienced it? And if you are against the topic domestic violence, you would like my video because I'm speaking against it. I'm not for it. I don't even want to enjoy it. I don't want to be in it. I'm not in it anyway, but I don't want to be in it. I don't want to encourage anybody to be in it. So if you like what I'm talking about, I would like to see your hand giving me a thumbs up. Now, I said words are eggs. You know egg. Once an egg falls to the ground, it will break. And once the egg breaks, it can't be restored. It can't be taken back. So once you open your mouth to say one or two words to your spouse, make sure it's good words. Because if the words are bad, you can't say you can't even if you say I'm sorry, it's still in the heart of a person, it's still in the heart of your spouse. So there is nothing like I'm sorry, it was a mistake. Why did you say it in the first place? And women respond to words. The words you say, women respond quickly to it. So when you tell a woman, you're beautiful, you see her blushing, hey, you're sweet, she's blushing because she responds to words. But when you tell her, you're dressed like what insult like you're dressed like like my grandmother, or you say you look like an animal, or you just call her different names, it will get to her because she's responding to the words you're speaking. Now, men respond to actions. Men, they don't respond to words. That's why even when the woman is begging, please, I'm sorry, it doesn't even enter their ears. They don't respond to words. They respond to actions. They like when the woman is so submissive, when the woman is always begging, or when the woman is always pleading, or when the woman is maybe on her foot, on her knees, pardon me, kneeling and begging my boss, my most men like it, but I feel in a relationship we are equals. There's no one superior, no one is inferior, and we should treat ourselves as such. So that's what English Live with Esther today we're dealing with. I would like to hear your take on the topic. I would like to know what you think about the topic. So let's begin. Let's get things set here. Okay. Now today we're looking at the types. Okay, we've looked at the types of domestic violence. Let's look at the characteristics of domestic violence. The characteristics of domestic violence. Before then, let me get things set up again. Pardon me, 1 second. I want to teach you well. I want us to have a fruitful live streaming, so I want to get things set up. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, we're back Live, English Live with Esther. Now we're looking at the characteristics. Sorry for the breaking transmission. I had to make sure things were set. I had to make sure I have everything ready so we'll have a fruitful live streaming. Okay, now let's look at the characteristics of women or of victims. Let's not say women now. The reason I'm saying women is that because most of the victims are women. So that's why. Okay, we're back. Yes, we're live now. I'm sorry, I had to make sure things were set. I had to make sure things were ready, things were in place, so I will have a fruitful discussion with you, a fruitful live streaming. Now we're looking at the characteristics of victims. Those that fall victims of domestic violence. What are the characteristics? The first is most of them are female. Almost all domestic violence victims are females. We have 1 in every 4 women being violated. 1 in every 4 women. So you find that, oh, not Ted. Hello, how are you today? Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for stopping by, not Ted. I can see your message. Hi, how are you today? How are you today? How is everything with you? On our topic, we're looking at domestic violence. Thanks for the like. Thanks for the like. It shows you are against the topic domestic violence. It shows you don't like it. Good. It shows you don't like it, and I'm happy that we are not in support of domestic violence. So that is why Esther is here to talk against it. To talk against domestic violence. How are you today, Not Ted? I hope you're still with me. How is everything with you? What's your take on the topic domestic violence? What do you think about the topic? Have you experienced it? Or do you know 1 or 2 persons that have experienced it, that have been violated domestically? Are you in a relationship, or you know someone in a relationship that have experienced violence in his or her relationship? So it could be a man or a woman. And noted, I hope you're still there. I hope you're still with me. This is Extra Stars Academy. You can subscribe to this channel if you haven't. And I would like us to discuss. Thanks for stopping by. Now let's look at characteristics of women with characteristics of victims that fall under domestic violence. Most of them are women. Now, men experience it, but statistics shows that it's only 1 out of 7 women, out of 7 men, pardon me, only 1 out of 7 men experience domestic violence. But women, we have 1 out of 4. So you find that women are the main victims of domestic violence, and most of them are in their youthful age. They could be in their 20s or in their 30s. So youths between the age of 20s and 30s are the ones that experience violence domestically in their relationship or in their marriage. Now, most of these people are more likely to be dating or cohabiting. When I mean dating, they're not yet married. They're together, or they could be living together. That's cohabiting. They could be living together. They're the ones that experience violence. So violence in marriage doesn't occur more like violence in relationship where the couples are not married. So most of them are likely to be dating or cohabiting but not married. Now, most of these victims have children in their houses. Most of the situations where you see the man abusing the woman, we have children in the houses. Now, if you have kids in the house that is being domestically violated, the kids will grow up, see what their father is doing to their mother, and copy it. I wouldn't want us to train our kids in an environment where we have violence. Wouldn't want us to do it because the children are watching. And you know children, they pick whatever you do. They watch what you do and they want to do it. So imagine a boy watching his father beating his mother. Of course, he will grow up with the idea that women should be beaten. He will grow up with the idea that you should beat a woman. And it will take the grace of God for you to take that idea off his head. Or in a girl's situation now, you see a girl watching a father beat a mother. She'll grow up with the mind that women are inferior to men, or women should be beaten in the home. So I wouldn't want us to grow up with the idea of domestically violating our spouse or our partner in front of our children. Now, boys who witness violence are far more likely to do it later in life. I just said it. The boys who witness the father beating their mother are far more likely to do it later in life than those who don't witness it at all. Would you want your son to grow up and beat his wife, or would you want your daughter to grow up and being beaten by her husband? Because 50% of girls growing up in an abusive home will go on to be abused themselves. They grew up from abusive homes, so they will grow up and be abused themselves. I don't think we want that for our children. I don't think we want it at all. Now, if abuse is not stopped, it will increase. That's one thing. If you don't stop, it could start with a slap. It could start with a kick. It could even start with verbal assaults, insultive words. Once you don't put an end to it, it will increase. And once it increases and escalates, it could get worse. And domestic violence could end in bloodshed. You could find situations where the man ends up killing the woman, or the woman even ends up killing the man. So once domestic violence is not stopped from the beginning, it could end in bloodshed. It could escalate into something else. So once you notice a relationship that the spouse or the partner is being violated, you should put an end to it. You should call for help. Call for help. Call a counselor. Call for help immediately so you can put a stop to it. Now, why do women stay in abusive relationship? Why? Women are complaining that they are being abused. Women are complaining that they're being abused, but you know you're being abused. Why stay in the relationship? Why stay in it? There are many reasons why women stay in it, and we're going to look at the reasons now. Now, women stay in abusive relationship because of fear. One reason is because of fear. They stay with the abusers because of fear. They are afraid that the abuser will become more violent if they try to leave. They're afraid that the abuser will become more violent if they try to leave. Okay, this is Esther from Esther's Academy. We're live looking at the topic domestic violence. Still trying to make sure everything is said here. Okay. If you're just stopping by, our topic is domestic violence. I'd like to know your take on the topic. I'd like to know what you think. I'd like to know what your take is on the topic. And if you are not for it, if you dislike the word domestic violence, if you're against it, if you're not standing for it, that means you like my video. And if you like my video, I would like to see a thumbs up. Now, we're looking at the reason why women stay in abusive relationship. For crying out loud, you've been abused in the relationship. Why stay in it? Why stay in it? One reason why women stay is because of fear. They are scared. They've been abused, they've been beaten, they've been battered, they've been pushed, they've been degraded, that they're now so scared of leaving for fear that if they leave, the abuser will go after them and hurt them the more. They're so scared that if they leave, the abuser could even hurt their children. So that's the main reason I feel women still stay in abusive relationship. And I don't think it should be so. I don't think it should be so. And many of them believe if they leave the relationship, they won't be able to make it on their own. They are still depending on the man. They're still depending on the abuser. So even though the abuser is still beating and hitting and kicking and smashing and breaking their heads and giving them broken teeth and breaking their arms and their legs, they're still in it. They're still in it, bearing it for fear that they won't be able to make it on their own, or for fear that the abuser can come again when they've left and still hurts them, and for fear that the abuser could even hurt their children. And many of them don't want their children to live fatherless. They want their children to still have a father. So they would rather still remain in the relationship and endure, so the children will have an abusive father. Okay, that's the first reason. I wondered why women used to stay in it, but that's a reason. Now let's look at the second reason why women will want to stay in an abusive relationship. The second reason is for blame or fault. Now many of them believe it's their fault. Oh, it's my fault. Why? Because after the abuser has abused them, the abuser will say, I did it because you made me do it. I didn't want to do it. So they have the mind that they were being abused because it was their fault. The abuser blamed it on them. The man would say, I didn't want to slap you. I didn't want to beat you. I did it because you wanted me. You made me do it. That's what the abuser always say. You made me do it. You made me do it. And they have the mind that, oh, it was my fault. It was my fault. The women carry it in their mind, it was my fault. He didn't want to slap me. I made him slap me. He didn't want to hurt me. I made him hurt me. Oh, he didn't want to stab me. I made him do it. So most of them stay in the relationship for blame or fault. They blame it on themselves. They have it on their hearts. They carry the guilt in them that it's their fault. And if they can just stop to think differently, that the abusive person has always been abusive, if they can take the blame of them, they'll be able to leave the relationship. But if they continue to carry the blame that, oh, it's my fault, I made him do it, I made him insult me, I made him call me stupid, I made him call me mad, I made him do whatever he did, if they can take it off their mindset, they will get out of the relationship and it will be better for them. But if they still keep it in mind, oh, it's because I made him do it, I made him do it, it's my fault, it's my fault, it's my fault, it's my fault. If they still have that in mind, they will still remain in the relationship. That's why most of them stay there. And they don't deserve it. They don't know yet that they don't deserve it because they think it's their fault. After the slap, they still think it's their fault. They don't know yet. They don't deserve it. So that's the second reason. Now, another reason is denial. Denial. Most of these women will deny. I'm not being abused. You will see a woman coming out from her house. Her face is all swollen with blood marks on her face, or swollen. Her eyes are swollen, blood everywhere, and you're like, what happened to you? Were you beaten? Did your husband spank you? Or let him spank now, he's not a child. Did your husband slap you? Did your husband beat you again? And the woman will be like, no, he didn't beat me. I fell. I had an accident. I fell from the bathroom, or I tripped, or I had an accident in the kitchen, something. So they're always in denial. They don't want to expose the abuser. They don't want to admit that they are abused. They still want to stay in the relationship. They still want to stay in the relationship. So they're covering up for the abuser, hiding his sins, making him happy, making him do it more. Because if you hide your sins, or if you hide someone's sins, the person will continue in it. But if you expose the person will feel the guilt and stop. Now you are the one being beaten. You're the one feeling the guilt. You're the one hiding the sins. Whew. Wow. That's why they stay in the relationship. Because they are living in denial. They're always denying to their friends, to their families, that they're being abused. If they can speak up, that they're being abused, and the home can still be together. You're managing the home. Maybe she doesn't want to leave the man. She doesn't want to divorce. It can still be helped. You mustn't break your home. The man could go for therapy. He could see a counselor, and they could talk it over, advise him, do one or two things, help him, counsel him, and he will get out of it. Then you stay in self-denial. No, I wasn't beaten. I tripped and fell, telling lies, helping the abuser, because you want to come out of it. No problem. No problem. You deserve more than that. Think about it. Another reason why women stay in abusive relationship now is because of loneliness. They feel they're alone and they have no one to help them. They have nowhere to turn to. If I leave this man now, where am I going? Where will would I go? I don't have anywhere to go. I don't have families. I don't have friends. They know they have friends, but the abuser have made them believe that they are friendless. Why? Because one thing with an abuser is it will take you out from your family. It will take you out from your friends. It will make you feel he's the only one you have. He will make you feel you're all alone. Now, the word is loneliness. Loneliness. They feel they're alone. But you are not alone. There are people there to help you. If you can just speak up, you will get help. If you can just speak up, you know that there are people to help you. We have counselors everywhere. You have friends you can talk to. You can Google it, search. There are different friends. There are many places you can go to for help. If only you admit that you're being abused. English Live with Esther, we look at topics relating to English. Topic for discussion. Our discussion topic today is domestic violence. I want you to improve your listening skills and I want you to improve your speaking skills. So, once you've learned the English language, you become fluent in it, you'll be able to converse with anybody and any topic. That's our topic is domestic violence. I would like to hear your take on it, what you think about the topic. Now, another reason why women still stay in abusive relationship is because of damaged self-worth. The self-esteem has been broken. The self-worth has been damaged. They've been degraded. They've been having degrading treatments. They've been beaten, battered, smashed, pushed, kicked, most of them stabbed. They've had, they've gone through a lot of things that have damaged their self-worth. And the man will make them feel they're worthless. It will make them feel they're worthless. I had a statement from someone she said, he made me believe I was worthless and alone. This is from a victim. She said, he made me believe I was worthless and alone. So her self-worth has been degraded. Another one said, I felt I'd done something wrong and I deserved it. She felt she had done something wrong. She didn't do anything wrong, but the man had made her feel she did something wrong. So her self-worth has been damaged. Her self-worth has been damaged. That's a reason why women also stay in abusive relationship. Okay? Now let's look at another reason. Now these words are from victims. I'm just quoting them. The victim said, it made me believe I was worthless and alone. Another said, I felt I'd done something wrong and I deserved it. You've not done anything wrong. Once you admit that you've been abused, you seek for help, you will get your help, and you could retain your relationship, retain your marriage, sustain it, and still be in it, if only you just speak up. Now, another reason is, okay, we've discussed for fear, wanting to be a savior. Some women want to be a savior. They want to be the king in it. They want to save the man. They believe I will change him, I can change him. That's not the way he is. It wasn't like that when I met him. It wasn't like that. I believe I can love the abuse out of him. She said, I believe I could love the abuse out of him. Maybe it wasn't like that, or maybe she saw him like that at first, and she believed showing him love all the time will make him change his behavior. Does the leopard change? Can a zebra change? Without help, he cannot change. Without help, an abuser cannot change. So many people want to be the savior. They want to help. They want to love their partners with the hope that they can change them, with the hope that he will get out of it. Now, another person said, I thought I would be the strong one who would never leave him and show him loyalty. I would fix him and teach him love. So women stay in abusive relationships, in abusive marriages. They endure domestic violence because they want to be the savior. They want to show their loyalty. They want to teach him out to love and they want to fix him. He's been broken, yes. You're not the one to help him. You're not the one to teach him. You're not the one to do it. You can't do it on your own. Even if you want to, you can't do it on your own. You need help also because you have been damaged. Your self-esteem has been broken. So you need help also. So wanting to help someone is like someone falling. Also wanting to drag someone also. Both of you will fall together. So why not the both of you go see a counselor, seek help, and revive your home. Said she had pity on him, on her partner, because he died, and he became an alcoholic, and said that God wouldn't want her to live because he needed to make him better. So when the father died, the husband became an alcoholic, and because of that, he started hitting her, abusing her physically, and she said that God would not want her to live because to leave him like that in his broken state. So that's why she's still in the marriage. That's why she's still in the relationship. You can't do it on your own. You need help also. Many of them want to cope with it. They don't think it was really an abuse. If an abuser abuses them emotionally, verbally, they don't think it's an abuse. Like where I come from in Africa, you find the man using harsh words on his wife. It's normal to them. It's normal. So the women grow up they grow up believing it is not an abuse. They grow up believing it's normal. The man wants to dominate, is the one in control, is the owner of the house, is the one in charge. So they grow up thinking it's normal. Words don't leave bruises. You know, it's normal to assault them verbally as fast as you don't use your hands on them. They believe it's normal. But you know we have different kinds of violence. Violence may not be physical. It could be verbal. That's verbal assault. That's verbal abuse. And it is not normal. The both of you are in the home to enjoy yourself. The both of you are in a relationship to enjoy yourself. It's mutual. No one is superior. No one is inferior. So wanting to endure abuses and insults is not normal. You can get out of it. You can help safeguard your relationship. You can save your marriage from being broken. Another reason why women stay in marriage is because of their children. They put the children first, sacrificing their happiness for their children. They don't want their children to grow up without a father. You know, if they leave the home, take care of the children themselves, the children will grow up knowing their father. And most of them will not want to say, this is your father and this is why I left because of what happened, the situation that made her leave. So they stay at home, endure everything because of their children, sacrificing their own safety. They don't care what happens to them as far as their children are safe. Now this once a victim said, she said, I was afraid if he wasn't beating me, he would beat his kids, and I value their lives more. So she took all the beating because according to her, the man likes to beat. And if the man doesn't see her to beat, the man will end up beating the children. So she had to stay in the home. So the man would use his muscles on her and leave the children alone. Another person said, I stayed for 20 years while I protected our children. All the while I was being abused. Is that right? What do you think about it? Are they staying in this abusive relationship? English Live with Esther, our topic is domestic violence. We're looking at issues pertaining to domestic violence. Why do women still stay in an abusive relationship when they can get out of it? Why do women still stay in it? Another reason is because of family experiences. Most of them grew up watching their dad beat their mom. So they already have it in mind, okay, my dad was beating my mom, so in my own relationship, if my other partner beats me, is normal. The men or the boys grew up watching their dad beat their mom. So when they get married also, or when they're in a relationship, you find them also wanting to put that muzzle and punch their partner. Why? Because they've experienced it. Now, family experience Past experiences with violence issues also affects a healthy relationship. Someone tweeted this. My mother told me if I broke my marriage. So the mother told her, you have to endure it just like I endured. I can imagine. I think the mother was also abused in her home, and the mother endured and endured and endured. And maybe things worked out well, I don't know. But she said the mother told her, yeah, she had to endure everything in the marriage, because if she broke her home, if she broke her marriage, if she leaves the marriage, God would disown her. Is that a good advice? Is that a wise advice you give someone? You tell the person, go out and look for help. You help the person get help. The abuser can be helped. It can be helped. It may or may not be in the senses when he was abusing the victim. So the abuser can get help. Instead of saying, advising someone to stay in the relationship and not leaving for one or two reasons, advise them to go out and get help from counselors. You have counselors roundabout. You have counselors everywhere. Go out, talk to friends, get help, find a solution to the problems in your home, because there is always a solution to everything. So you don't have to stay there and endure whatever the issue is. You don't have to stay there and degrade your self-esteem. You don't have to stay there and wanting to be there at all. I'm not asking you to leave either. I'm asking the both of you to go out for help. Go out and get help. Another reason why women still stay in abusive relationship is because of financial constraints. Now, many of them may not be working because the abuser would say, don't work. That is economic violence. When an abuser tells his victim, don't work, I don't want you to work, I want you to stay at home, even when the victim wants to work. The abuser is like, no work for you. I don't want you to go out and work. I don't want you to go to work. I don't want you to go to work. Even if victim is working, the abuser will dictate when he or she should go to work. So the abuser would say, you're not going to work today because he's in charge. The abuser would say, you're stopping that work for 1 week because he is in command. He wants to gain control. He wants to manipulate. So he has violated the victim financially. Now the victim cannot leave because the victim has financial constraints. I have no family. I have 2 children. I don't have any money. I'm feeling guilty. Where would I go? That's what they say. I can't leave him. Someone tweeted. The person said, my husband racked up thousands of debts in my name. So they were married, but the man was piling up debts in the name of the woman. Now, where would she go? If she leaves, the debts will all be on her head. How would she pay? So she's stuck with the man until the debt is settled. That is financial constraint. She's being held financially. She's being violated financially, economically. She's unable to get a job. Maybe she's working at home. There are many issues. Financial constraint is why women still stay in the marriage. Financial constraint is one reason why the victim still remain in abusive relationship, in abusive marriages. The both of you, I think, should come together. That's why you should seek help. After seeking help, you come together and talk. If the victim wants to work, if he wants to go to work, the man should let his wife work. The wife should allow her husband work. The both of them should work. They should have mutual consent. If you want to work, mutually agreed. If one person works, the other stays at home, let there be a mutual agreement. So the home will be at peace. Another reason why women don't want to leave abusive relationship is because of isolation. They've been isolated for long, far from their families, away from their friends. They feel they're alone. Sometimes this could be physical. You find out in the home, the woman is being held in chains in the house. Maybe not married to the man now. In a relationship, the man will hold the woman in chains, tie her up in a room, isolating her from anybody or everybody. How will that kind of a woman speak up? She has to stay there until help comes from wherever it comes from. That's isolation. Someone said, I was literally trapped in the backwoods and it would use my little boy to keep me close. So she was isolated from everybody. No family, no friends, no one could get to her. And that kind of isolation will destroy her psychology, to destroy her mental way of thinking. So she won't be able to think properly because she has been isolated from friends. She has been her self-esteem has been destroyed. Now these are the reasons why women still stay in marriage. From my point, stuck experiencing domestic violence. I don't know if you have any other reason. I would like to know what your other reasons are. If you think there are other reasons, I would like to know also. We are helping to build our listening skills. Saturday and Sunday Technique helps in building the listening skills in English conversation. So we'll be conversing, discussing, speaking, interacting, and helping ourselves build our English listening skills. Now, one reason why many victims hesitate to speak up is because they're scared of being judged. They're scared of being judged, our professionals. They're scared of saying the story. They're scared of being criticized. If I say I'm being abused, they will judge me. They'll say I'm wrong. It was my fault. They'll put the blame on me. They'll criticize me. I don't want that. So instead of accepting people's criticism, instead of accepting the abuses from other people, why don't I stay in this relationship and just endure abuses from my partner? So that's their way of still staying in the relationship, even when they're not enjoying it. They are still staying in it. Now we've looked at, from my point of view, the reasons I think women still stay in abusive relationship even when they're not enjoying it. That's the reason women still stay in abusive relationship. Now let's look at, why do men beat? Why do men assault? There could be a reason for it. Why do men beat? Why do they assault? Why do they hit? Many of them, do they want to? Is it just a numb? Do they feel like it just comes up once in a while? The brain touches and they just... Why do men assault? Why do men beat? Let's look at it now. Now, this man comes from all works of life. He comes from all walks of life, from different careers. I told you, domestic violence doesn't select. It doesn't select. It does not discriminate. It can happen to anybody. Anyone can be a victim, and anyone can be an abuser. All these abusers comes from all walk of life. When they're crazy, you never one, or there are some characteristics that they share. Most of these abusers share the same characteristics. They are jealous. They are jealous. Abusers are jealous. Mostly not men. We're looking at men because most abusers are men, and the victims, most of them are women. Now, these men are jealous of their property, of which they believe the women are their property. Jealous of their children, which is also their property. So they're jealous of anything around them that is theirs. They don't want anyone to touch it. They don't want anyone to go near it. They're always poking their noses, watching with their eyes, following with their steps, always on the phone calling, where are you now? Where are you now? Aren't you coming home? What's the problem? Some of them will even go to the extent of monitoring the other partner. Now, These abusers may be male or female. I have a case of a situation of a lady now a abuser and the victim because she was jealous. I think she was jealous because she knew the kind of was always jealous, always overprotective of the man, always overprotective of the man. Okay, she was always jealous, always overprotective. He's always after the man, always calling. This is where he was. This is where he was. She's always moved, and the man did not like it. She was too jealous for the man, and he didn't like it. And whenever he comes home, and she's like, "I saw you at so place out, and you went so angry. Something that is not worth making you angry about. Just get annoyed over it, over any little thing, over any little thing." I would like to know your take on the topic, domestic violence. Thanks for stopping by. And if you like my topic, I'd like you to give me a thumbs up. I'd like you to give me a like. I wanted to contribute on the topic today, improving our English listening skills, improving our English speaking skills also. Now, these abusers, I said, tend to be jealous, possessive, and easily angered. And easily angered. Now, what are their characteristics? Chauvinism, the superiority complex of men over women. They believe they're on top. They believe they're above women. They believe they're in control. They believe men should be in control always. They believe men should be in command. Men top. Men should be controlled, should be in control, and the women are underneath. The women are inferior. Both of you are equal, for crying out loud. No one is above, no one is beneath. But these abusers believe women are inferior. They believe women are nothing. They believe they ought to control and dominate women. So that's one characteristic with them. They believe they ought to be in control, they ought to dominate. Another reason why men beat, another reason why they hit, they batter is self-denial. They don't put the blame on themselves. They can never admit that they are abusers. They will not say, "Oh, I abused my wife, I hit my partner, I abused my partner." They won't even admit it. They live in self-denial. What they will say is they'll tell the partner, "You made me do it. I didn't want to do it. You made me do this. You made me hit you. You made me slap you. You made me." They just put the blame on the woman. They put the blame on the victim. And the victim will take the blame. The victim will take the blame like, "Oh, it was my fault. I made him do denier." They do that. They abuse the victim. They deny that the abuse is happening, or which we know is happening. Now, some of these men take alcohol and drugs. So you find out that alcohol and drugs are often associated with domestic violence. Alcohol and drugs are often associated. I'm not saying it's men. Also find men that don't take alcohol, or men that don't take drugs, still abusing their partner in a relationship. So it's not really the cause. but percentage of men, I think a high percentage of men that take alcohol and drugs engage in domestic violence. So it has been found out that alcohol and drugs are associated with domestic violence. An abusive man causes substance abuse problem and violence. An abuse problem and violence problem. He should treat himself. Why men be off. Don't think these reasons are good enough for any man to hit or assault his partner. I don't think any of these reasons are good enough. Now, what's my advice for you? Some things you should do if you are in an abusive relationship, some things you should do. First of all, I would advise that you admit, from the part of the woman and from the part of the man, both of them are living in self-denial. From the part of the abuser now and the victim, the both of them have been living in self-denial. So first of all, I want you to admit that you are in an abusive relationship. Admit that you are in an abusive relationship. Once you admit it, that's all you settle. Once you admit it, that means you're good to go. So it's important for both the victim and the abuser to admit that they have an abusive marriage. To admit that they have an abusive relationship. It's not easy, but once you admit it, it shows you are in need of help. So admit, first of all, that you are in an abusive relationship. This is Esther. I'd like to know you're taking it. I'd like to know what you think about it. Violence. If you don't like it, I want to see your thumbs up. Show me a like that you encourage the discussion of the topic. Okay, I said the both of you should admit it is not easy, but once you admit it together that you're in an abusive relationship and you need help, then you can start seeking for help. Now, another advice I will give you is the victim must understand that abuse is not their fault. The man or the abuser will tell them, I did it, you made me do it. I didn't want is blamed, and the victim is taking the blame. She's not even rejecting it, she's taking it. Do it. Now I want you to know it wasn't your fault. Wasn't your fault at all. He did it because he wanted to into you. You don't deserve it at all. You don't deserve it. You're not the one making him do it. You're not the one triggering it. You're not the one making him do it. You don't deserve it. You can come out of it. You can help yourselves. The both of you can go out and seek for help. You can help yourselves. Now, before you can heal, you must make him do it. And you are in the step 2 of trying to get healed. So the first step is you admit you're in an abusive relationship. Then the second step, you admit or understand that it wasn't your fault. It is not your fault. Now, then you decide to seek help. The both of you decide to seek help. You can seek help from friends. Maybe you've been hiding it. You've told no one. You've told no family. You can decide to go out and seek help. You can decide to go out and get help from friends, from family, anyone outside the home. Now, with the police. She went to report to the police for 1 week. The police can help protect you and your children from harm. If the victim, if it doesn't want help, you will need help yourself for the sake of your children. So you can decide to go out, get help from family. You can seek help from friends. You can also, on your own, start setting aside money. You know, you've not been saving money. You can start setting aside money for maybe to run away or to get help for your transport fare, to get to the police. Just get help. Get help. To get a counselor, just get help. Don't be stuck in it. If you want, if it's really gotten to you, if it's really gotten to your neck and you want to get out, and the abuser doesn't want to get out, you can get help for the sake of your children. You can get help for the sake of your children. You're not alone. There are people there to help you. There are people everywhere to help you. So decide now that you will no longer be a victim of domestic violence. Because this domestic violence has effects. It may not start telling now, but once it lingers on, it will escalate. And once it escalates, it will have short-term or long-term effects. Esther from Exercise Academy, we are looking at the topic domestic violence. And we are treating this topic to improve our listening skills and our conversational skills. I want you to always be able to engage in conversations without fear of not conversing properly, without fear of being too formal or being too informal. We're conversing. So we're helping to build our conversational skills. Now let's look at the effects of domestic violence. The first thing is domestic violence can destroy your self-worth. You know, the victim has been beaten, has been damaged, has been battered and shattered and pushed and that's the first thing the abuser wants to do. The abuser wants to destroy your self-worth. So one effect it has on the victim is it destroys your self-worth. It makes you think less of yourself. It makes you think you are nothing. It makes you lose value in yourself. It makes you lose respect, lose confidence. When you go out, you can't even speak up. That's one effect. It destroys your self-worth. Domestic violence can lead to depression. No one understands you. Okay? No one can feel you. No one can understand you because you've not spoken up. You're depressed inside. Helpless and alone. You feel helpless alone. You feel helpless and alone. Now, these are the effects of domestic violence. But there is help. You can find help. As an abuser, as a victim, you can find help. If you need the help is always there. If you need help, it is always there. It's always there for you if you need help. Now, where can you find help? I'll tell abused people to find help, you need to believe first that you are not alone. You need to believe first that you're not alone, that you're not alone, your children are not alone. You and your children, you have help. So once you acknowledge the fact that you're not alone in this situation, once you acknowledge the fact that your children is safe, that you're not alone, then help will come. So that's the first step. That's the first step on how to find help. Then you need to talk to someone you trust. Talking, speak up. My friend, if you don't speak up, you remain where you are. If you remain in silence, it could kill you, it could hurt you, it could harm you more. So you need to speak up. You need to speak up. Speak up to someone you trust, your friend, your relative, your pastor, family doctor, a counselor, someone you trust, someone you have full confidence in, and you know can help you. You know we have some sheep in wolf's clothing. So you need to have someone you trust that you know, okay, if I tell this person, the person can help me. If I tell this person, the person can come to my aid. So talk to the person in the situation. If you choose to remain there and be a savior, hoping one day the abuser will change, of which I know he or she will change if he or she goes out for help. So if you choose to remain, you must have a plan B in case. You must set up a plan like hiding a car key, just hide the spare key of the car somewhere that you can easily use in running out in case you want to go out, in case there's an emergency and you want to quickly run away. You can also try and hide some personal documents that you can hold on to. If you need money for something, you can go back to those documents. Then you can try and keep money in a safe place. If you're not working, any money that comes to you, make sure you keep a little in a safe place. Start saving while you're still in the house. You want to remain there? Very good. You're trying to help your home? Very good. I will advise you both seek help. And while you're seeking help, you can still be praying. There's nothing prayers cannot do. But try and keep money close by in a safe place. Admit that it is not your problem. For the abuser now, you must admit that it is not your problem, that you can get out of it. It is not your fault. It is not your partner's fault. It's not your problem. And try to change your behavior if you can. Change your behavior. You can hold yourself. Hold yourself when you feel you want to give a punch or give a slap. You can start giving yourself start piercing yourself, holding yourself, hold yourself. Try and control your behavior. Try and control your action. And at times you decide to just walk away. If the woman is talking and talking and nagging and you can't take it, I'd rather you just walk away. Just leave the place. Just go out. Just leave the environment. Just stroll out. Just go. Just leave. It will help you. It will help you. So when you believe you can change your behavior, you believe that it is not your fault, that's the first step to getting help. Now you must be willing to reach out for help also. Be willing to talk to someone. Be willing to get help. You must be willing. Because if you're not willing, you won't get help. If you're not willing, you'll still remain there. And most of these people believe that women are supposed to be submissive to their husbands. Be submissive. The Bible said it. Women, wives, be submissive to your husbands as to the Lord. And the Bible also said, husbands, love your wives too. So this kind of submission is not being inferior to your husband, and it doesn't mean the husband should be superior the both of you are one. You came from the same ribs. We're created as one in the image and likeness of God. So the both of you are one. You're together. And you should forget or pretend that it didn't happen. Once the abuser decide to change, forgive the abuser. And as an abuser, you should also forgive. Forgive yourselves, not pretending that it didn't happen. Acknowledge the fact that it happened. Yes, and after acknowledge the fact that it had happened, forgive yourselves, and the both of you will come out of it. Now, forgiveness is not repeating the action. When I say forgive, I don't mean you should go back and do it again. Once you're asking for forgiveness, it means you're saying, I won't do it again. Forgive me. I'm sorry. I won't go back to it. I won't do it again. I'm sorry. So once you're asking for forgiveness and you're saying you're sorry, it doesn't mean you should go back and repeat it again. It means you're saying, I'm a changed person. I'm a changed person. I won't do it again. I won't do it again. Forgive me. I'm sorry. Okay, so we've been looking at the topic domestic violence, and we've looked at issues pertaining to the topic. I said domestic violence has to do with the kind of behavior that someone uses to control or threaten an intimate partner. So once a partner is showing a kind of behavior that is threatening you or wanting to control you, wanting to gain control over everything you do, that is domestic violence. This is our second session. We had the first session, Saturday Technique, and this is Sunday Technique, the first live session, the second live session on topic discussion. I would like to know your taking it. If you miss my live stream, I would like to know what you think about it. So go to the comment section and let me know your opinion on the topic. Now, Esther Stars Academy also, we have vocabulary videos and pronunciation videos that will help your listening skills. These live sessions are just to help you in your listening skills and your conversational skills. As a learner of the English language, you should be able to converse in English on any topic. On any topic. So every Saturdays and Sundays, we'll be looking at different conversational topics, and we will be discussing on these topics. On Mondays to Fridays, we'll have our phrases and our daily English sentences, the words and phrases we can use in our daily life. We also have our uploads where we have our pronunciation and vocabulary video. It's been a wonderful time on today's Extra Stars English Live with Esther. And if you come in later, watch my videos. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and press the bell icon for notification on more of our videos. And if you don't like being violated, or you know someone that has been abused and you don't like it, if you frown at an abusive relationship, you will like my video. So give me a like, give me a thumbs up, and let's stay connected. So till we meet again tomorrow, I remain your host, Esther. Bye for now, not forever. Stay connected. Bye.